Hello and welcome to a very special edition, by that I don't mean special ed, of the final round with a very special guest, and by that I don't mean special ed either. This guy was once described, along with myself, by a fan in a bathroom at a UFC as a tall,
dick with hair,
walking penis with hair.
Yeah, it was probably the best compliment we've ever gotten.
And not to mention former champion and two-time New York Times best-selling author.
The final round. Yeah, I mean, that's good. It's already too good. It's kind of the old story. Like, if I walk in and tell you, like, what a badass I am, I'm kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
But if he walks in before and says, hey, man, you know that guy is such a badass, that's where you got to do it. You're going to be my hype man from now on.
Got it.
Just walk into a room first and be like,
I do got a half inch on you.
Oh, yeah, at least.
You were saying? You had something brilliant.
The lean of your show is sports betting.
Sports betting.
Do you
think
bet?
the final round doesn't do it any justice?
No, that works for me. I'm not picky.
You're not throwing a title change suggestion my way?
Not yet. We'll see how we go. Okay. So that's what we're just going to talk about, sports betting today?
No, a couple things, couple topics. Then we're going to bring on the master of sports betting, the guy who makes the odds for the casino.
We've talked. It's official. He's the master. Yeah.
Matthew Holt.
I've known him for 10 minutes. I'm sure he's a genius.
And give idiots like us betting advice.
I have really good betting advice for idiots. You won't like it. Don't bet.
Now,
they know more than you. Stop. Give up.
One thing, by the way, the show brought to you by CG Sports, filming here at the Palm Sportsbook from CG Technology, and Bitcoin Direct.
Bitcoin, that is awesome.
That is awesome.
That is,
yeah.
I have a couple friends that have lived off Bitcoin.
They're Bitcoin millionaires.
Yeah.
They bought it back up for $100. You know what? It went up to $1,300. It was like down a few years ago, $100 a share.
So I was in Argentina for like 28 days, and they really there's Bitcoin everywhere in Argentina because their currency.
And you just go with your phone, right?
Yeah, their currency devalues so quickly. So it was pretty interesting. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was magic.
That's Argentina, huh?
Yeah.
Chili dog. That's right. You coached the show alongside Chuck Liddell in Argentina. That's right. How's your Spanish?
Non-existent.
¿Cómo está usted?
No hablo español.
Nothing. No cuss words or anything. Now, before the show, we got in a brief conversation about Vitor Belfort suggested a TRT league for guys over 40 years old, and I think
we were just going to call it an old man's league, but a senior. What do they call it? Masters League.
Masters Division. Oh, it wasn't like some exemption where they get TRT.
Yeah, no, it was just Masters.
That was just my head adding that.
You were hoping to hear that.
I was hoping to hear that.
Man, no, he just meant old people.
I was thinking, wait till I call Baroni and tell him this one.
They have it like in tournaments, like jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Masters?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Masters divisions.
Masters Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah, my accountant did a Masters bodybuilding show less than a year after he had both hips replaced. That is amazing.
You told me this, but is he a good accountant?
The best.
All right, okay.
He's the guy who is responsible for strippers getting to write their boob jobs off. He is the guy.
Really?
Yes.
That is a work-related
Ron Norman,
expense.
this bud's for you.
That is definitely a work-related expense.
It is.
No,
but a lot of them didn't know that up until he's the first case, the first one to go through and they boom. Trendsetter.
I wrote coffee off as a performance
enhancer
supplement. Yeah.
I
wrote coffee off for years.
Nice.
And it's been more than 3 years, so you can't get me.
The TRT was a write-off too then.
I didn't use it. I should have.
Wait, I thought you were at one time.
Oh, on it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't use it. I was
on
the drugs. Yes, I just didn't use it as a write-off. Yes, no.
Okay. Glad we cleared that up.
That's actually, honestly, the biggest regret I have in my career. I was old, over trying to be young again. It didn't really work, and then now it's that kind of tarnish, like you did,
Yeah.
I mean, people always be able to have that on.
Don't talk.
But you were a juicer at the
Don't
end.
talk to me about tarnish.
Yeah, well, but I was doing so well. I was already over the hill. I should have just given up, mailed it in. I should have known when to say when. It's like, oh, I feel slow. I don't feel good. It's because you're fucking old, Forrest.
Yeah.
It's like,
needles
are really going to help.
I like when you said that one time. The moment you realize you're not going to get any better at this.
Yes, there's a moment, and that's when it's not fun anymore.
Yes.
You're like, oh, I'm actually
how much longer
just
can I
trying to
stretch this?
Yeah, there really comes a point, I think, in every athlete's career where you get better every day and you love it. And then there comes a point where you're just trying to fight the decay. You're like, well, not much worse sometimes. And that's what is just kind of stupid.
You know who I just saw that with recently, and I
Who?
hate to say it breaks my heart, but one of our former colleagues, Sugar Rashad Evans, he looked like, geez, age finally.
That was a tough fight, though. I don't know. I don't score fights. I'm glad I don't score fights.
Yeah, I could have went his way, but
Yeah.
he just looked a little slower, not like the old Rashad.
But he looked good when he looked good. Like when he put his head movement in. I don't know. It was just a weird. I think that's a tough guy to fight too.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't pull the trigger. I said, hey, to me, I'm like, haha, see, even he gets old.
The fight we're talking about, Dan Kelly, what's the name?
Oh, Kelly, yes. Daniel
Kelly, Rashad Evans, UFC, whatever, 208.
208. God, you're good, man.
And yeah, if you didn't see that fight, it went to decision.
Split decision.
It was it.
Yeah, it was.
There you go. The best part of that fight was actually when Dan Kelly thanked his knee brace. In the post-fight speech, he actually thanked his knee brace. Like, I would have thanked my knee brace
for holding up
together. I was like, ooh.
Oh, yeah,
that's a bad sign, dude.
Because he's no spring chicken himself. He's competed in 4 Olympias. That's a 16-year judo career.
Not just in judo. I think
judo.
Judo is
It's
actually
rougher
than MMA.
Yeah.
I
on
did
your
judo.
joints.
I did judo for a couple years and just drilling, and I
Your
quit.
back, your
I thought
joints.
this is stupid.
I'd rather get hit in the
I'm
head all
getting
day long.
thrown. Like I was 230. A dude that was also 230 was falling on top of me. I'm like, this is dumb, man. This is dumb. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Stupid sport.
Judo.
Everybody should have been good at golf.
Okay. You wrote 2 New York Times best-selling authors, and when's the next book coming
two
out?
authors' letters. No.
I mean, are you having writer's block or something?
I have been for years. I have been taking. All right, so true story. I take notes and I write stuff down to tease it out and make it into a book almost every day. It was like a how-to for life. It was like an idiot's guide. And then I was gonna call it Winning at Life. And this is how long I've been doing this. This is before Charlie Sheen went on the winning tangent. Like, remember when he was
winning.
And so I was writing the book before that, and then when he started saying that, I was like pissed because I can't use the title.
Joke.
But now it's been so long that I could probably still do it. But I didn't. I had all my notes in a phone. Didn't save the phone. Don't know how to do that. It's too dumb to back it all up. And I smashed my phone in a fit of rage, and that's why you can't be angry. And I lost all my.
And there's the 3rd bestseller. Potential bestseller. That was less. But what about just say
lack of self-control?
Let's make a screenplay. I've done the book thing.
Yeah.
Let's write a movie, something like.
I tried.
Both of us are cops, right? And you're the good cop. I'm the bad cop. We're best friends.
Needless to say, you'd be the bad cop. I'd be the good cop. Right?
At the end, you find out I'm dirty. Then we have to fight to the death. You end up winning a decision, even though it's to the death. You get a decision somehow. And then I go to work for Chael Sonnen at Bad Guy Inc.
Yeah, I mean, we could go like one of those shitty non-SAG movies that we've both done up in Canada. They're like 5 G's for a weekend. Come be in this movie, and then like SAG.
You're the star.
And then like SAG sends you a letter and says like, you can't work with us anymore. Oh, shit. Well, fuck you guys. Weren't hiring me anyway. Whatever.
Well, it would be fun, but you'd probably get paid less than being an extra on a bigger movie.
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay. At the MMA Awards show, right? Tito got a Lifetime Achievement Award, and in the package video,
I caught some flack
in that package video, Forrest was on there trying as hard as he could to say nice things about Tito. How difficult was that? You really couldn't come up with much. You're
what
like,
did I say?
He's a big draw.
I said I think I said that he was one of the first guys to kind of, put his personality out there and kind of try to be a villain.
You must have been in that room for hours.
Yeah, right? No, I
Getting
just
sound bites.
You
just need one soundbite for us.
It really wasn't about Tito. If you think about it, like life, like you got to kind of let things go and move on. And there's no
denial is not just a river in Egypt.
I mean, it is denial, man. It's a river in Egypt if you're Italian.
See,
denial. No. Yeah, that was it. I don't know.
So, regardless, in that video where you were
I'm not in the business
well, you were
of making enemies.
burying the hatchet with Tito.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
In that video.
It's true. He actually did do a good job of marketing, and he was the face of the UFC.
There you have it, Tito. You were sporting a beard like I've never seen on you. But
yes.
all I could think of is when I saw that video, when we saw Frank Trigg, and you go, oh my God, Trigg, I almost didn't recognize you if it weren't for that hideous beard. And I wanted to use your own line against you. I was hoping you'd come with that beard today, but you shaved it.
What? No, that didn't make sense what you said. What did I say? I said I almost didn't recognize you under that hideous beard. Because Frank Trigg was always clean shaven, right?
Yeah, or the hideous,
but my beard was, it turns out, I guess I'm Amish. I didn't
know
that.
My
facial hair grew
it
down.
came out.
Apparently, like nothing here, like nothing at all here.
So you never knew that until
I didn't know I was Amish.
And then you discovered it.
And now I have to move to Pennsylvania and start churning butter.
Hey, at least you'll be eating all organic.
Yeah, no, I will.
You'll be healthy.
Hey, when the apocalypse, when the shit goes down, they're gonna be all right. Because they're not using electricity.
That's right. What about getting a bomb shelter and just stocking it up?
I'm too lazy. So I wrote that book, Be Ready When Shit Goes Down. I've accepted now that if something goes down, just my level of comfort, my level of physical disability, and having a kid, there's no way, I'm done. So like now it's cool though, like I have to like really hope the system works. Like pretend that all this bullshit we're doing like means anything. Vested interest in keeping it going.
Now, part of me wants to just dab on politics.
Sure.
And not even if you voted for Trump or Hillary, but just if you are a Trump supporter, does that kind of make you feel a little dirty because Tito's such a big Trump supporter?
Oh, I mean, I guess it would. One thing I'll say about Trump, and you notice how PC I am these days, everybody that was on his show, regardless of politics, everybody that meets him becomes a supporter. I think my take on Trump is he's one of those guys that read all those books about like how to be a great salesman, and whenever somebody likes him, with the handshake and eye contact, he does those little cues, and people like him.
His blue steel's so empowering that it just hypnotizes you.
I mean, I guess.
I saw this funny thing, what they call little GIFs, the little video GIFs of him handshaking. And he is a big, grab you by the back of the shoulder type of guy.
I have to make sure it's not a it's more of an arm drag. It's an arm drag. It's like, he's coming in. Get in there.
And you train with Marcelo
Donald Trump
Garcia.
takes the back. Merkel doesn't have a chance.
Okay. On to some MMA, right?
Yes.
Why not?
Why not? We are arguably experts in the field.
Johnny Bones Jones, he never lost. You still regard him as the true champion, regardless who wins between Daniel Cormier and Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Do I? No.
Who's the real champ?
Anthony Johnson, the guy that lost to him via 5 rounds, still the champ.
Wait. What about Cormier?
Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez, that's what I meant.
You meant Cormier.
Yeah,
okay,
I lost him in 5
me.
rounds. Yeah, I confused myself too, obviously.
Okay, so you regard Cormier as the real champ.
Hey, let's look at this fight, man. This is a good one there.
Oh, Charles Oliveira versus Will Brooks. This is up at 155 pounds. I cut weight with Brooks when he was fighting Michael Chandler in Bellator when I fought Tito. And he came out of the sauna and said, Bonnar, I can't do 155 anymore. I'm going to die.
That's a bad sign. It's a good thing that we are opening.
So I thought at first he went down to 45, then I was worried. But at 55, I'm going to put some money on him. Even
on Brooks.
At 2.5 to 1 any day of the week.
Money on Brooks.
On Brooks, because Charles Oliveira is more of the mere gatekeeper down at he's got the gatekeeper role at 145.
Yeah.
And he's going up to 55. Yeah, and the only time I've seen Brooks look bad is when he fought a guy who missed weight by 11 pounds, and he popped a rib out early in the fight.
Wait, who's
against Cowboy Oliveira? Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Cowboy was overweight by 10 pounds.
That was
Brooks. After the first set, I popped my rib, and then in the third he couldn't get up off bottom, and they called it. He wasn't knocked out.
Yeah.
But it was stopped.
Yeah,
so.
That was tough for him.
Yeah, at 2.5 to 1. Hopefully, Oliveira's he's been in the UFC a while. I'm hoping those come down to a little lower, and I think I'm going to put a little bit on Brooks for that.
I think when we get this Performance Institute, UFC Performance Institute open, we're going to reach out to Brooks and get him on a little bit of a weight management plan. Or, you remember weight cutting?
Wait.
Yeah. Remember weight cutting?
Yeah, I could.
It's not a thing. It's weight descent for competition.
I could teach a class on that.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not PC to call it cutting weight anymore?
Yeah.
What do you call it? Weight what?
Weight descent for competition. Those are words I just put together, and they actually do make sense. But yeah.
That's ridiculous. Is that a real thing?
That's absolutely a real thing. Soccer moms watch this shit, man. Come on, we're gonna get,
Weight dispersing for competition.
Weight descent.
Descent.
For competition.
Boy. Wow. Talk about PC.
What's
this world
rapid weight descent would be the last bit of it,
Our WD or something for sure.
Yeah, there you go. Like KFC.
KFC.
Nobody
no
wants
one
fried
wants to hear
chicken.
fried. Yeah.
It's KFC, man.
Someone actually told me the real reason for that wasn't because they didn't want to use the word fried like I thought. It's because these aren't real chickens. They're just grown like on a stick, and they're not real chickens. They never had a head in their brain.
Guys, Stephan Bonnar has access to weird stuff on the internet. And he takes it to be real, so that's scary.
Conspiracy theories. Yeah. Speaking of conspiracy theories, no, I guess it isn't. It's a real fact that the judging in MMA has been changed, and they got together and said, judges, damn it, start handing out some 10-8 rounds.
I'm for it.
I'm all for it, too.
I'm for it, yeah. I thought we were gonna fall on opposite sides of the fence. Good to know we parked our car in the same garage.
I'm for that. And what else? Are there any other big changes we should know about, Mr. Weight Descent?
To the judging?
Rapid weight descent?
To the judging?
Yeah.
No, not that I know.
That's it. Just be more frugal with your 10-8s.
Less frugal.
Yeah.
Less frugal.
No, more frugal means throw them out more. Oh no, you're right. Gosh, you're right. Don't mess with an author on vocabulary.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Don't worry, my grammar, if you follow me on Twitter, you know my grammar's garbage. That's all right.
But he can put words together. Pictionary, though, I'll whoop his ass any day.
Not good, yeah. I can't draw or think. Those help if you play Pictionary. You can't do those things. Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Do you know I'm not legally allowed to bet on fights?
At all?
No, I work for the UFC. I guess I could bet on anything that's not UFC.
Boxing.
Yeah,
Bellator.
Boxing. Or Bellator, yeah.
The B word.
Yeah. No, I used to bet on fights. 2007, I won
God, you're such a goody.
I won 180
books.
books.
You're gonna say fuck or the hell with them, I still bet.
No, I won the last big money, and I think it was like 180 bucks or something. Was
how's the Scion running?
I gave it to my father-in-law. I think it's okay. I think it's going on.
Sellout.
Yeah. The hell was I saying?
Something about betting. 180 bucks.
Couture beat Tim Sylvia, and I was training with Randy, and I was like, "Yeah, Randy's gonna win this fight." But what I've noticed is this guy will tell you over here. I used to I bet, and then I bet for like 6 or 7 months after that, and I can honestly say I knew more than the odds makers at that time. It was kind of that sport, and I would see stuff, and I would just be like, "That's not right. I'm gonna bet on that." Now, they know more than I do. The guys that make the books know more than I do.
What happened? What happened to that gap in?
Here's what happened: money. Anytime there's money, the old boxing.
Talent comes in.
That's right.
So you're saying back in the day the odds makers were garbage.
Now
we got guys like
it
Matt Holt making the odds.
It was new, and people weren't really people
wise to that.
Yeah, and
I was a 4-1 dog against Kingsbury. Thanks, Matt.
No, you won.
Yeah, a 2-1.
No, you're a favorite, dude.
Someone told me I was a dog. Are you sure?
You fight winning streak going into Kingsbury.
The encyclopedia says you're wrong.
I just wanted something to complain about. Thanks for making my day not as crappy.
Third win in a row?
Yeah. Everyone's favorite topic. How sick of you are talking about I didn't say that right. How sick of you?
I'm sick of it. Whatever it is, I'm sick of it. What is it?
Answering questions about who's going to win, Conor or Mayweather.
I don't ever answer questions about it, but I don't mind talking about it. It's kind of funny,
But the thing about, we talked about him fighting Pacquiao for 6 years before it happened.
Right.
I feel like it's a waste of breath.
Well, I think this fight's gonna happen.
You
I
honestly
think this
believe
fight's
so?
gonna happen.
I just
yeah.
don't want to get my hopes up again.
I think the money's there. I think the fight's gonna happen.
Wow.
You have my word that
Boxing rules, you think? 312s?
Oh yeah. Gotta be boxing.
Or sorry, 12 threes.
12 threes? Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
312s pride.
What?
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is like that crazy shit in Brazil. It's not legal anymore.
Yeah, and people are asking me about that. Who's going to win, Mayweather or Conor?
What?
In a boxing match, I said, Floyd Mayweather Sr. would kick Conor's ass in a boxing match, and he's 67 years old.
That's impressive. You know, I mean, it's fun though. Conor's got that one punch power to do something to Mayweather. Probably if you could get the weight right, if you could get him at like
47.
No. It's 154. Yeah. So they won't fight it. You need to. What's above 54? Like
61 or 60.
60? No,
Middleweight
60.
is
60 would be if Conor could get Floyd to come up to 60, it would be something. You know, and then the weigh-ins are different. Like for boxing, the weigh-ins are when are the weigh-ins in boxing?
They still do the day before.
The
but
day before.
They also do now optional day of weigh-ins, which in some states are mandatory. some
Yeah. I
aren't.
know Virginia. It's
Yeah,
like
some
you
are
have to
mandatory.
do it. Yeah. So
You have to do
it's
day
being
of
Vegas
weigh-ins,
though.
yeah.
I'm good. The Raiders, hockey.
Oh, Raiders coming to Vegas.
Mayweather, Conor. It's a big. It's a good time to be in Vegas.
You
I
gotta
like that.
admit, Vegas has more fight and MMA gyms, and I mean per capita than I'd say almost any city in the country.
Yeah.
You know, in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, they have a reputation because it's such a big boxing city
Yeah.
for being a rough stadium. You know, opposing teams' fans get knocked
Right.
out on the time. Do you think that Las Vegas and the
good.
Las Vegas Raiders could take that title from Philadelphia by having the roughest fans in the sport?
Well, it's funny. It's possible. I remember the LA Raiders being pretty tough. All the kids that wanted to be in gangs.
Yeah, well,
Well,
they
LA.
were gun tough.
Yeah, they were gun tough.
They were
Exactly.
gun tough.
Exactly. They were very gun tough.
It's
yeah.
the same thing with the White Sox fans. My
Yeah.
buddy got robbed at gunpoint coming out of a game. Yeah. Yeah. You had a question. You were pointing at
Oh
something.
yeah.
You
How
wanted to
come, how
talk.
come yours? What's up with the highlighted picks? What are those? Your picks? Who you put money on?
These are the highlight ones are the favorites.
Oh.
So
the favorites.
Rumble Johnson versus Cormier. Cormier's only a -112 favorite,
Hard to bet against Johnson's power. If it touches you the wrong way, it's over.
but also hard to bet against a guy who won the first time.
Yeah, but he's 38. Cormier's 38. And Cormier is an old Olympic level wrestling 38. You know, there's 38 that's not that old, but this is I've been putting my body through the grind old. And I'm just talking. I don't know.
If Cormier gets on top of him, same thing
Yeah.
going to happen. Because think about it, Rich Clemente choked out Rumble Johnson. Josh Koscheck choked out Rumble Johnson.
Well, I was on the card when Rich fought Anthony, and he didn't make the weight,
He never did at 170.
and he.
Did he ever?
Yeah, he did actually.
Once?
Somehow.
Once,
But
maybe.
yeah. No, I mean, anybody could have beaten Anthony Johnson after the first 3 minutes of that fight. Like once that first couple minutes was done, Anthony Johnson was not physically fit to be in there. And he got choked out. Rich Clemente, no love. He's awesome.
So, Cormier Johnson, Forrest going with Rumble. I think I'm going with one more for
no,
Cormier. You said Rumble.
Did I?
I said I'm not betting against Rumble's power.
I was just
You
giving a
imply-
counterpoint to your point.
That was an
I wasn't.
implication
That
that you're
wasn't.
taking.
It was an implication.
That was a fight pick.
It's
This
just an
court is
implication.
adjourned.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you surprised to see Musasi a slight favorite against Weidman?
No,
I mean, you think
Musasi's
that's
looked tremendous.
because
recently.
Weidman's been destroyed the last few times?
Both of those, in fact.
Both of
Yeah.
those.
Musasi's a bad dude. And Musasi, again, I think he's a little older, but I don't think he's the worst for wear. Since he's come back from that knee injury, he's been pretty
Yeah, he
consistently
has.
awesome.
I think he hasn't lost a fight since Machida, I believe.
Yeah, and that was after a year layoff, come back from
The
a
knee
knee. All of a
surgery.
sudden, you're fighting
Yeah.
the number one contender.
Yeah,
No easy
I know.
fights in the
After
UFC.
my reconstruction, I fought John Jones. Otherwise, I would have kicked his ass
That's
easy.
right. You had
Easy.
that. You had that in the bag.
Yep. Okay. who else do we talk on this? Why don't we talk a little? You only got a few minutes left, so let's just close out by talking UFC 211, right? And we're bringing our odds maker Matthew Holt on for the final segment of the show to talk about Miocic versus JDS2.
Let's get the expert in here. Let's get in there. You're in the middle.
Welcome, sir.
Middle. Oh, he's in the middle.
All right, Matthew Holt. One of the biggest cards I'm looking forward to is that UFC 211 card. It seems like the next really awesome card.
I'm just hoping it doesn't fall apart before then. I hope everybody stays healthy next week.
Back in our days, people didn't seem to pull out of fights as much as they do in today's age.
They absolutely didn't. There weren't as many fights. I would be interested to see the actual percentages, but it's because if you pulled out of a fight, you would have to wait 6 months to fight again.
Yeah.
Like you would have to wait 6 months to a year to fight again. So you better really make sure you have to pull out.
And then considering the depth of the divisions compared to now, there wouldn't be as many options for replacement.
Right. Yeah.
So
Some of them too may have started reading our stats on fighters who miss weight who only win 38% of the time the last 2.5 years.
There you go.
So there
if
you
you're
go.
gonna
You
miss
got
it anyway, you
2/3 better shot
Yeah.
of winning if you bet against the guy that loses weight. Very interesting to statistics. So
See, that's when it comes down to money. That's when the math work gets done.
yeah.
And that's when the science of it, the Billy Bean, whatever, kind of takes over.
So you got Junior versus Miocic too. Junior won the first one, although I think he got beat up worse in the first one.
He did win, but it was
He
a
did more
close fight.
damage.
It was a close
I'd
fight.
say
I'm
Miocic did more
always
damage.
interested in a fight anytime. So in the first fight, JDS was about a 2.5 to 1
Yeah.
favorite, and now you come into this, and Miocic's a 2 to 1 favorite, and I say in that time period, what happened? What changed?
One guy
That's
got
such
better.
a monumental line difference.
Well,
One guy
we
got
realized,
better, another
yeah.
guy kind of is on this part of his career.
I mean, we
JDS
just-
is actually younger of the two.
right.
He's got more
It's
mileage.
miles.
He does
It is
have miles. He does
you know,
have more
and
miles.
He's been knocked out. He's been stopped. I mean, he looks great against
Overeem?
Rothwell.
No,
Rothwell. He didn't look good against Overeem.
No.
But Overeem is a tough dude to fight. Awkward stance. Does
Yeah.
weird things.
Huge power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he fights that awkward style, almost like a oversized Machida, and then he kind of makes you do something, and then he's got a real good reaction. So he's a hard guy to attack. And when Dos Anjos finally got caught, it was because he was like frustrated trying to take the ground. JDS, Junior
Yeah.
Dos Santos. Too many.
But Miocic's not a one-punch heavyweight either.
No, he
He's-
isn't.
He can be. I mean, he
Yeah,
was
he
against
can.
what's his name?
Fabricio Verdun.
He was there.
Yeah.
And he can be too. I mean, if you see the guy hit and sparring, you
But
see
he's
the guy
more
hit,
smooth. He's not a
JDS
big
versus
haymaker
Verdun had a
heavyweight.
nice one puncher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Verdun.
Who do you say has the heavier hands?
Probably Miocic has the heavier hands,
I
but I
would
think
say with JDS.
yeah, I think Miocic does have a little bit heavier hands, but I think JDS is going to land more volume, just like he did in the first fight. Better footwork.
See, I would have said the opposite. I'd say
I would've said the exact
Miocic
opposite.
Oh, look, the first
throws
time they
more
fought,
combinations. And remember,
JDS outworked him.
JDS stopped Kane with the one puncher in the first one.
True. Yeah, he did hit him on the temple. The first ever UFC on Fox card.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
the 20 seconds of it.
Yeah,
That
true.
one was great.
Yeah, I'd say it beats a snoozer any day.
Fart in the bathtub. You know? You guys could have done that in the second round.
Yeah.
But it was like a half hour of hype. I was there like live at a broadcasting event
Yeah.
for that, and where everybody was so excited. And
Yeah. Well, I'll take it over a snoozer any day.
just
I grew
it
up
was
with
like my
Mike
sex
Tyson.
life. It's overweight.
But I think the one thing they've done on that card, and look, the main event's great here on 210 in a week, but the difference between 210 and 211 and 208 and 29, and what makes 211 the best card of this year is the fact that that undercard is loaded. I mean, since Joe retired, we've seen a lot of good main events, and the undercards have been weak on these pay-per-views.
Overall, you're
But
right.
211, you got Frankie Yair, and you have
Yeah,
Joanna
that's crazy.
Champion, who's
That
always
shouldn't
fun to
even-
watch.
I mean, those shouldn't even be undercards,
No.
in my opinion.
That's right. Any of one of those could make
Yeah.
it.
You gotta think
That
when
doesn't
you're
make
playing
sense.
matchmaker, there's 500 dudes on the roster, men and women.
Yeah.
It's hard to get them all together. And you know what had a good undercard was Thompson Woodley.
Yes.
Yeah,
the
that
fights
saved the
were
card.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, you know, it
there
was
were two great comebacks on that
there were
card.
some great comebacks, good fights, and then kind of like you get to the main event, it's anticlimactic. But that's what I tell people. You know, that's why they give you 8 fights.
Yeah.
They're not all going to be great, and they're not all going to be bad. There's going to be some good ones, some average ones, and some not good ones.
And I think that's another big reason
It's just the
we've
order
kicked
they come
boxing's ass over the years.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
one of
if
the
the
main
main card is a snoozer in boxing.
Right. Nobody even watches the undercard.
No.
That's right. One of the
The
main
seats are
things
empty
is
in here.
every single one of these UFC fights, no matter where it is,
Well,
whether
there's like 3 titles on the line.
yeah,
you know?
and every one of these fights is on TV, and there's betting odds on it, so people could bet it and watch it. Where with boxing, you don't get to watch all those fights. Even if
That's
you buy a
good.
pay-per-view, you get to watch the last couple.
So we got Joanna versus Andrade for one title.
Yeah.
JDS versus Miocic for the other title. And what's the third title? For two
There's
rounds?
not a third title, but there's
thought you
Frankie.
just said
I did, but more metaphorical, not that specific one. Yeah.
All right, I take everything literally.
Yeah. No.
Forgive me.
It was
But Frankie versus Yair, it might as well be #1 contender
well,
fight.
and then
I gotta say-
definitely, and then Poirier versus
Yeah, Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez.
If Alvarez wins, he probably gets right back in line to
Yeah.
fight again.
I don't know if
But
he wins that
Yair and
fight.
Edgar's
That's a
only a
good
3-rounder.
Man,
They could both bang.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Because I like Edgar in that fight. I'd like him better if it were a 5-round fight. Edgar versus Yair
Absolutely,
Rodriguez.
that is a really good.
And I think on any
observation.
other card, especially a fight night, that would have been a 5-round.
I actually love Frankie in that card, and I love watching Yair Rodriguez, but I think Frankie's a really bad matchup for him right now.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah. I will see.
So what are you thinking?
I don't know. Every time, and I'm just going off. I watch all the lead up to, all the countdowns, whatever, and you always see Yair wrestling. Always wrestling.
really?
I know if you didn't grow up wrestling, and that George St. Pierre is a one of one, and if you didn't grow up wrestling, it doesn't always come.
Yeah, you don't see
Yeah.
a chance.
But you always see wrestlers come and they're always boxing. But boxers or strikers, you don't usually see them wrestling. But you know, he's not. He knows that that's the difference between being a good fighter and a great fighter. If you're a good striker and you can't wrestle or you can't get up off your back,
Achilles heel.
yeah.
A couple of things I've seen, like I saw BJ Penn catch Yair in the last fight twice, but BJ he was stepping back when he was throwing. He didn't seem to have any power in it. I mean, what's his name? Alex Caceres caught him a few times. I just feel like
But that
because
was-
he's so ultra aggressive and with his style that he also leaves himself vulnerable.
Yeah,
So you thinking of opening Yair, what, at a -150?
No, I think it's.
I think people underrated Caceres in that. Just going into that, you
Could
know.
be.
He's a good kickboxer. He's not a great fighter because he can't wrestle. He's
Yeah,
getting
he can't.
submits.
You're
He
right,
gets
yeah.
submitted all the time.
Yeah.
If you stand with him like Yair did, it's a pretty good fight.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think it's going to be Frankie 150.
-1. Oh, I like Frankie in that fight. so
Frankie's the name.
I was trying to program your subconscious so
Yeah.
I'd win more money at Frankie.
No, it's Frankie's going to be the favorite
Didn't
there.
work.
And I think Eddie will probably open around 180
Oh,
over
Eddie
Dustin
Alvarez
Poirier.
versus Dustin Poirier.
But I think it's a really live fight for both guys. It'll be interesting. Poirier's looked really good at 55 since coming
Yeah,
back
yeah,
up.
it's-
And I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing Oliveira come up here is that look at the success of all the guys that have moved up. Rumble
Yeah.
Johnson, Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah, I'm always happy to see guys go up. Not
Yeah.
down, you know?
Yeah, right? Yeah, I always worry about a guy's
And
first
it's a
fight
big
against
trend
someone.
right now of success.
And I wasn't too worried about Rashad, and then he looked like he lost his step. So,
Look
I
at
lo-
the guy-
and I lost money on him.
Yeah.
That's what really happened.
Yeah.
And
He
you were
made a lot of
like,
money on that
when
fight.
that decision was coming out, you were like, split decision, man, come on.
Got
That
robbed.
line opened -180 Rashad, closed at -400 Rashad. Everybody bet Rashad.
Really?
Yeah, we took a ton of money. It was by far the most money we took on any single fighter on that card. And he wasn't even near the main event.
Yeah.
And that was the most
You
money.
know
we
what it
took.
was, though? He's just a known entity.
Huge name, former champ,
Yeah.
you know, and then going against the guy a lot of people didn't know unless you watched probably the Tough Australia show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then speaking, we think Edgar versus Yair could be a #1 contender match, and also Damian Villa
Yes.
versus Jorge Masvidal. I mean, yeah, if Maya wins, he's pretty much guaranteed a title shot.
It has to be a lock. I mean, it has to be a lock that he gets a title
Yeah.
shot.
What about Masvidal? What is winning this fight in Masvidal?
I think
I'm
I
glad
don't,
he's in the hot seat.
I don't know
That's-
that Jorge Masvidal right now, if you had to put Masvidal versus Tyron Woodley, I don't know that that can headline a pay-per-view.
Well, not only that, yeah, I mean, they've trained together. They're kind of buddies, too.
Yeah.
So, but money
I think
fixes
if he
all
wins,
that.
maybe you can do Masvidal, Robbie Lawler, or Masvidal,
Yeah.
somebody like that, right? I think he's still one more away to sell himself before that big headlining
I
title.
think you're right. I did a Metro PCS Facebook Live for the last one, and all the social media response I got was Masvidal. So he's emerging.
Wow, maybe he is getting more.
Yeah, I mean, so like the most like of everyone I interviewed, he was the the people like that I got mentioned.
His fights lately have been super
Oh, yeah,
exciting. What he did to
his
Jake
hands.
Ellenberger, and then what he did
What
to
he did to
Cowboy.
Cerrone, my
Wow.
goodness.
And Cerrone was flat. Cerrone was flat.
Nonetheless, he knocked him out twice in that
I
fight.
did.
saw him in the locker room and I said, man, just warming up. And I'm like, I've been there. You got nothing. You fought 5 weeks ago and your body didn't cycle up. Isn't ready to go again.
You told him this?
No, you saw it.
You were in your head. In your
Right
head,
before
you
the
said
fight, I was
this.
like, oh, you're in trouble.
Cowboy, you're in trouble.
You look flat as fuck. No, I didn't.
I just put the house on Moscow.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't even there live. I just saw like on TV, and he just looked labored to throw a kick, like he was having trouble getting warmed up. And just something like you've seen before, Like you've been in a locker room with guys, and you're like, oh boy.
Haven't we seen
Yeah,
him
I've
do that?
been
Why
there
does
too.
he keep doing it?
I've been there as well.
Where he fights.
Remember he did it, then he came back in 4 weeks and fought Benson Henderson, and
And
he
he
got the split
faded-
decision
he
win.
faded
He
that
looked
third round.
bad. Yeah, he looked
He
bad.
He
faded.
looked better
Third round.
than he did the first couple times they fought.
He did, yeah.
Remember they had 2 matches in WEC that
yeah.
Henderson won. But then Cowboy showed him what was up that night in a close fight. And we're going to close out with one final topic. Ronda Rousey. Is she like the Tiger Woods of MMA? Is she completely psychologically destroyed?
Oh wow, I don't know. I mean, it's funny. I like the comparison though. It's funny, right?
The analogy?
Yeah,
On
it's
the
somewhere
fly.
I don't want to go, and it makes me sad to think of where she was, and to have such a great icon be there. But yeah,
You don't
I mean,
think
I
she
was
could
there.
rebound?
I was there in December at
Yeah,
T-Mobile.
it was right
and
here.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was certainly there, and I just.
Because
yeah,
after
I
Holly
don't
Holm,
think she can.
she kind of had a psychological breakdown. She got about beat up even worse.
But I think sometimes, to your point, it's matchmaking. Remember when we were talking about Yair versus BJ? We're like, how in the world can BJ?
Why would he agree to
we
this
were all
fight?
praying
Yeah.
he just didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Amanda looked like a really bad matchup for a Ronda coming back. I mean, if you match,
first fight back,
Yeah.
Let's take a page from
Yeah.
boxing's book. If the person's making you a lot of pay-per-view bills, get them a tune-up fight. A tune-up fight.
Yeah. There's no real tune-up fights in the UFC. It's hard stylistically, maybe, but you never know. There's always
At
that.
least
What if she
stylistically.
loses before? Yeah, we get her a grappler, right? You get
yeah,
her
that's
somebody
right.
that's
Sarah
predominantly
McMahon, one of those
Yeah.
kind of
grappler.
fighters.
Somebody she already
At
beat.
this point, if she's ever going to come back, it has to be a Sarah McMahon, maybe a trilogy if she can convince what's her name to come out of retirement, or Misha
Tate.
Tate.
Misha.
Yeah, Misha out of retirement, or a Sarah McMahon grappler, Kat
Do people
Zingano.
want to see the Misha Ronda fight? Do you think? Is there an interest?
Well,
in
I
that?
know Dana's against it. I asked for that trilogy with you, but since you got 2 decisions, he said,
Yeah.
no way. And, come on, Misha's got stopped
I
twice.
think what they'd rather see with Misha is Misha versus Holly Holm too, because the first one was so close.
Yeah.
Holly was actually winning, and then
It
Misha
wasn't
submitted her in
close,
the
actually.
5th. Yeah, actually, it
It was-
wasn't. It was 4-0. It was 4-0.
It was a coasting to a decision.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
So
what
it makes
was.
it worse. The person
Yeah.
who was dominating the fight lost it.
Yeah.
And Holly could probably, if they're going to keep her on the roster, they could use her.
She's not. She's retired.
Yeah, she is. So.
She's retired.
She's
She's
done.
done some Fox stuff.
And with that, we're done. We caught
All right.
Forrest looking at the watch. Oh, so it's like time to close the show. But thanks for Forrest
Thank
for
you,
coming
guys.
on. Thanks for
Yes,
Matt
thanks
Holt
for having me.
for
Thank
having
you.
me. And
Thank
this was a
you.
nice long show. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week on the final round.